Amid unprecedented spike in COVID cases, India jabs another vulnerable age group between 15 to 18 years of age. The 15-plus age group is being administered Covaxin in 2 doses.
Those born in 2007 and before are eligible for the vaccine, and out of 7.4 crore eligible teens, 8.07 lakh have registered on the CoWIN app so far. A large number of schools and other educational institutes are being used as vaccination centers as well. Now, the CoWIN chief, R.S. Sharma, joins us live on the broadcast. We are ready to take in calls as India has gone ahead and expanded its vaccine drive. Let's go straight to Mr. Sharma. Mr. Sharma, thank you so much for joining us live on the broadcast. First things first, today is the first day as jabs have opened up for children aged between 15 and 18. What is the kind of response through the app also that you've seen, the number of registrations? Because there was a lot of confusion on whether, and how parents should go ahead and register their children, whether they should go and get themselves registered on ground, or whether it is through the app that they should go by.
Well, thank you very much for having me on your channel. I think, as you rightly said, this is the first day of vaccination of the children between 15 to 17 years. Let me clarify, we have all been saying 15 to 18, 15 to 18. Actually, 18 years were already covered by earlier notification, which says that 18 years plus we are already having the vaccines. And what we are considering now is 15, 16, and 17, 3 years. And that is why 2007, 2006, 2005 born children are coming into this. So I think the terminology, somehow we have been loosely using 15 to 18. It's actually 15, 16, 17. That's number one. Number two, there has been a huge enthusiasm of children registering on the CoWIN platform to various applications for vaccinations today. And we have seen sufficient activity on our platform. Also, as I have explained, we have increased the number of vaccinations, number of registrations which can be done on a single mobile phone from 4 to 6. And the idea is that if the parents and others, adults have been registered and the number is 4, then maybe 2 children can also be registered on the same platform. So same account. So the children need not create the same account. In case there is a vacancy on their parents' account, they can do that. Otherwise, they can create a separate account and register themselves, number one. And the registration process is exactly the same as it is for the adults. Now, on the whether registration is compulsory or not, let me say that, yes, it is better that they register and get an appointment for vaccination so as not to be disappointed. Because when they reach a vaccination center and the center is full, already booked, then they will find it difficult and they will have to be disappointed and return back. So advisable it is to get the get the appointment scheduled. But in case they are not able to do that, you can go straight away to a vaccination center. And if there are vacancies, you can get the jabs.
Right. Dr. Sharma, the sudden announcement of vaccination of 15 plus was made by Prime Minister on December 25th, and just 9 days later, today, the vaccination drive for 15 plus has kicked off. Do you think the health authorities across India, especially the ones who are related to CoWIN, had ample time to get a system in place?
Absolutely. Nobody has to get the system in place. It is a CoWIN platform and our partners who have got to change the parameters in the system. So it's pretty easy to change the parameters. As far as the vaccination processes are concerned, then, it's the same process. Also, the vaccine is also the same. In fact, Covaxin is the same which is being administered and which is approved for children of 15 to 17 years of age as of now. So there is not a fundamental change required in the process or the protocols.
Right. Also, Mr. Sharma, we have our colleagues on ground who have been getting our stories from outside the vaccination center through this morning and all through the day today. One thing which was a common question that parents and children wanted to know was the IDs that are required to get in that registration process working. So just take us through that as well.
Oh, thank you very much. That's a very important question. And I think, you see, what has happened is that Aadhaar is the common ID. And the other IDs which are there are the voter ID card, driving license, those kinds of passport, etc. But we all know that the children do not have voter ID card. Many of them may not have even the driving license because that's also minimum age is 16 years. So I think what we have allowed and what we have said is that the student ID cards, student ID documents will also be good enough to identify them at the vaccination center, even at the when registering in the COVID platform. So that's something which has been added for children, besides the other documents which are already listed like passport, Aadhaar, and other things.
Right. Dr. Sharma, from today, the vaccination of 15 plus has started, and from January 10, the process of booster dose administration is also going to begin. Will the process of registration on CoWIN for that particular group is going to be the same, specifically for the comorbid patients?
Absolutely. The difference will be that children will be getting vaccination for the first time. So obviously, either they have to create an account or they have to make a registration in their parents', dashboard parents' accounts. However, for citizens above 60 years of age or people who have, who are health worker or the frontline workers, for them, they already must have got 2 doses. So therefore, they already must have an account on CoWIN. So then in the same account, they can get a third precautionary dose appointment thereof. So they can get the appointment for that dose done on the same account. So they do not have to create a separate account because they already have an account. And if they have got 9 months have elapsed since the second dose of theirs, then they are eligible for the precaution dose. And for that, we are making arrangements from CoWIN itself that we will send an SMS to them saying that now your precautionary dose is due, provided your doctor has advised you to take that. That's how it is. Because initially we had thought that we will call for the certificate.
Also, Dr. Sharma,
Now that certificate is not necessary.
Right. Okay, so they don't have to actually carry a doctor's certification or any such document while they come for their jabs, is what you're saying.
Right. You are right. Absolutely.
Right. So I also wanted to understand, Mr. Sharma, that, this morning we had people who had already registered on the CoWIN app, and there were parents and their wards who were assembled outside the vaccination centers. Especially this happened in Mumbai, is what I can actually report. And the time of vaccination given to these people were between 9 and 11. But while they entered the vaccination center, outside in fact, they were made to wait, saying that the center will only be operational from 11 this morning. So how do you skirt with those, the preliminary hazards or the teething problems that we can experience on day one? How does one ensure that while maintaining the COVID appropriate behavior and the social distancing to avoid the crowding, we ensure that people and, especially kids and their wards, and this is Monday that we're talking about, they don't end up suffering?
So absolutely. Now, what is happening is that the CoWIN does not allocate a particular time without reference to any, any specific time given on the platform. The way it works is that the hospitals basically publish their schedule of vaccination, including the time of their vaccination center. And then also they say that, we are going to vaccinate 100 people, for example. So if they say that my center will open on 9 to 5 and we have 8 hours and we have 100 people, the CoWIN platform just, computes that in one particular hour, there will be about 13 to 15 vacancies. And accordingly, CoWIN, you can select your slots on that basis. Now, sometimes the hospitals may commit a mistake and therefore they, rather than having a default 9 a.m. opening or 10 a.m. opening, they may not provide that, and that the software may in some sense provide a time based on the platform, based on whatever they have published on the platform. So this might have happened in specific cases where the hospitals may not have provided their opening time, and that is why children had to wait. But I think that is not really a normal thing which happens. CoWIN just allocates time on the basis of the hospital's publication of their timetable.
Right, Dr. Sharma, apart from vaccination and COVID issues, how do you see the massive spike of COVID that India is right now witnessing? How dangerous it is or can become in coming days, and how prepared are we to tackle this?
So I'm sorry I could not hear you first,
Dr. Sharma, I
initial.
wanted to know your views on this COVID spike that the country is right now witnessing across the country. In fact, we are seeing such huge numbers coming in from across metros and states. How prepared are we to tackle this kind of spike at this point in time?
Well, look, this is a question which is not really relating to COVID platform. This is a question which certainly the health-related experts will be able to answer that. But as far as my knowledge is concerned, we have done a wonderful job in terms of vaccination, and vaccination happens and remains to be the best bet against this pandemic. So that's what I think I am in charge of, and that is what I can answer your questions on. On the rest of the issues, I will not be able to really.
Right, Dr. Sharma. Also, yeah. We saw all these schools in various places across the country having these vaccine drives for children. Now, while it is a very, very noble step and it's much needed, how does one ensure that the entire purpose of overcrowding is not, obviously it's not called off and it's not completely away from what we're looking at? Because if we have children assembling inside the school in such huge numbers to get their jabs, how do you deal with that overcrowding issue, or probably that social distancing that we have been talking about?
I think one of the things which I can say is that the management of crowd and social distancing, etc., is a job which the local authorities, whether it is a school authorities or whether it is those who are managing the COVID vaccination center, they have to do it. However, from a technology perspective, we always, at COVID, we have always, done this segregation or kind of, uniform distribution of crowd across the day by ensuring a 2-hourly slot on COVID platform. So if people are going and, registering on the platform, taking appointment, COVID itself ensures that, these appointments are staggered over a period of the whole day till the time the COVID vaccination center opens and closes. So that is something which technology can assure. But otherwise, at the local level, it is the authorities concerned who have to ensure that there is no overcrowding, there is absolute no social distancing, the masks are applied, all those things are essentially they have to ensure.
Right, Dr. Sharma, also, if we talk about COVID platform and the future of it, with so many more beneficiaries being added and expansion of India's vaccination drive, are we going to see any major changes or upgradation of this particular platform?
I have always maintained that this platform is there to implement the vaccination policies of the government. So as and when the government comes up with new policies or new programs, we will ensure that COVID platform is able to comply with those policies. So that's what I can say about the new, rules or upgradations coming. As far as the other features are concerned, I think COVID platform already has a number of features. For example, searching for the vaccination centers, ease of access, multiple languages. All these features already exist. As and when some suggestions are received, we are very, very aligned to the customers' feedback. And in case there are any feedbacks which are useful, which we find that they can help the process, we certainly will make changes in COVID platform.
Also, what happens to free vaccinations, sir? Are we looking at that? And do you have like a required number of free vaccines which the states governments are supposed to ensure? And we are going through the exact same process that we did while, obviously members of the other age groups were vaccinated in the past?
Yeah, I think we are not in any short supply of vaccine as far as my information is concerned. So I think there should be no concern on that part. I think what is required is essentially accelerating the pace of vaccination, which I think we are doing very well. Vaccinating 7 million, 8 million people in a day is not a small achievement for a country of as diverse as ours and as this big size as ours. So I think we have done, now we are going to touch 150 crore vaccinations in a few days. That itself is a huge achievement. So I think we will continue to ensure, and there are no impediments in the vaccination program of our country.
Right, Dr. Sharma, you have played a very, very important and pivotal role in building the COVID fight back infra of the country. And just last week, WHO actually struck a rather alarming note and had said that, the entire world is right now staring at a COVID tsunami if the situation doesn't improve. And it could very much be, led by the various variants that we are seeing right now emerging across the world. What is your opinion on that?
Well, as I said to your earlier question, also on the speed of pandemic and the way it is spreading and the other kinds of variations, those questions are really not related to COVID, and I will not be able to answer those questions. But let me say this: that our Prime Minister has been personally, kind of spearheading this entire fight against this pandemic, and he has always been, emphasizing on the basic, COVID appropriate protocol behavior, also testing, treatment, everything he has been emphasizing. And I think we continue to be vigilant, and we will continue to, sort of respond to the emerging situation. Let me also say that we are very, very well prepared now in terms of the health infrastructure than what we were 2 years back. And I think we will be able to fight this battle. That's what I can say.
Right. Dr. Sharma, before we let you go, I just have this one last thing that I'd like to ask you. What do the registration numbers so far tell you? Because there was so much of talk that parents are actually wary of getting their children vaccinated. There was one report that suggested that because it's just Covaxin that is currently being administered to children between the age group of 15 and 17. So what do the registration numbers actually tell you now?
Well, I think I have not looked at the registration number recently, but it's like a ticker is going on, and we are now showing the registration numbers of 15 to 17 years age group separately. And I think those numbers are rising very, very fast. Let me tell you this much. So I think I don't have the dashboard in front of me right now because I'm talking to you on my computer screen. But you can have a look at it, and it's basically going. The registrations are happening at a very large, there's a huge enthusiasm, and I think the talk of vaccine hesitancy is no more relevant as far as I can see, because there is a huge sort of requirement of the vaccine. People want vaccinated. Children want vaccinated.
Right, Dr. R.S. Sharma, thank you so much for your valuable time and your inputs, of course, and thank you for sharing your views on this big and mega vaccination drive that India has undertaken from today onwards. That is, of course, to vaccinate the another vulnerable group of the country, and that is, of course, the 15+ age group.
Thank you very much for having me on your